Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick little makeup tutorial for a belly dance choreography that I'm working on. I am a little bored without being able to do any real belly dance stuff lately, so I thought I'd work on makeup for a little bit. So this is a quick little, I'll show you from start to finish how I'm going to do this makeup. So let's get started. So here I am. I have no makeup on. Nothing. Just some moisturizer and chapstick. What you gonna do? So we'll start from the beginning. I've pinned my hair back so it's not in the way because I have short hair and bangs galore. So we'll start with, this is Complexion Rescue from Bare Minerals, and we'll see if it wants to focus. There you go. I think I used the shade Ginger. Just put a little bit on my beauty blender. I don't really use very much foundation or anything like that. I have, as you can see, a relatively even skin tone anyway, so I don't do a ton. I'll just use maybe like half a pea size amount of this all over my face. The directions on the bottle say you should use your finger, but I find that I get a better coverage when I use the beauty blender, and I feel like it's more sanitary, so I do it that way. And we're just going to pat it in over here and make sure we get a nice even coverage, which I think is always the hardest part with your base color, is just making sure everything's even, especially because I've got this little nose piercing. Trying to get everything even right around that is a pain in the butt. And I also will note I have dark circles under my eyes, so I do try at least a little bit to cover them. They're a natural feature. I'm half Pakistani, so it's just something I'm gonna have forever, but I try to cover them just a little bit. This is Bare Minerals Bare Pro Concealer. It doesn't want to focus. What you gonna do? And I'll use this to kind of cover those dark circles just a little bit, and then I, for some reason, always have issues on my chin, so that's mainly what I cover. And again, it's not much. I just do a little bit here and there. I don't like to be really caked in foundation or concealer. I just like enough that my face tone matches the tone of the rest of my skin, because my face is a little bit redder and the rest of me is a little yellow. Don't know why, but so I try to even it out just a little bit with my makeup. Getting around those eyes. Super important part, because you want to make sure it's even, and it's really easy to end up with uneven coverage under the eyes. So now we're going to go to Too Faced. This is a bronzer from them. It's called Chocolate Soleil. All of the Too Faced logo has come off the front, which, it happens. I've had it for forever. So I'm going to apply this a little bit thickly, and I normally see a lot of people using the 3E method, and I kind of use parentheses instead, because I don't like applying bronzer to my chin area. I find that it tends to cake there, so I'll just apply it to my temples and then a little bit onto my cheeks, and I will blend it out in a minute. But this is kind of how I started. So what I'll use to blend it out is my Bare Minerals matte foundation powder. I'll just use a tiny little bit of that, which I'll tap into the lid here. The current thing that I have of it is almost like a sample size, so it's hard to get the product out. But I'll use this big fluffy brush and a little bit of that matte foundation to buff that bronzer into place and make it look a little more natural. Because again, even though this is a belly dance makeup and it's supposed to be a little bit more wild, I do try to have my base be very nice and natural. I just find that it looks more normal. It looks a little weird if I do a ton of makeup just for belly dance, so I try to keep my main face about the same as what I normally do. This is my Anastasia Beverly Hills blush palette, and I'm going to use this shade on the end. It's kind of a dusty rose. This is my everyday shade. In the winter, sometimes I'll use the darker shade, but not very often. I mainly go for the dusty rose. Sometimes I'll use the pale pink, but generally only if I've actually gotten any sun, which I have not yet this year. So dusty rose it is. And I'll apply it everywhere where my face is naturally red, so that'll be my cheeks, my chin, my forehead, and my nose. This is Kat Von D 24-Hour Super Brow, and it finally focused in the shade Walnut, and this is what I'm going to use to do my eyebrows. I do normally do a pretty thick eyebrow. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's how I like mine. Because I usually do wear a fair bit of eye makeup, I find that it matches better when I do a pretty intense eyebrow. So I'm going to use an angled eyeshadow brush actually, because I find that they work exactly the same as an eyebrow brush, and sometimes you can find them for cheaper. And I'll just fill in my brows, one of which somehow has a hole in it, and I'm not sure how that happened, but it does happen sometimes. But yeah, you can see I comparatively don't have much of an eyebrow until I put this stuff on. And I'm so used to wearing it that I feel like this is when I look the most normal, is once I have my eyebrows on. So, now at this point, we can get going on the eyeshadow. And this is, of course, the fun part, because belly dance is all about the eyeshadow. So we're going to start with Smashbox 24-Hour Super Brow. The best eye primer that I have found on the market is Urban Decay, but I like this 24-Hour Super something from Smashbox. It works just well for me. The Urban Decay one is great, but this one is a little bit cheaper, and I haven't seen much difference in how it works. So I use this one. I would say if you can go to a Sephora and get samples, I would. See if you can try out a couple of different things. Try out this one and try out Urban Decay and see which one you like better. Because I have heard some people can only really use Urban Decay. They can't use this one and get away with it, but this one works for me. So I'll start with my Too Faced Tutti Frutti palette, and I will be using this pale, kind of peachy shade on my on my right. We're just going to put that under my eyebrows just to give a little bit of light there, because I find that my eyeshadow can get a little bit heavy. So I need to have a nice highlight under that brow to make sure that the eyeshadow doesn't just make my eyes droop. My eyes do have a bit of a downward tilt, so I generally will try to do everything I can to get some lift in there. But I also really like eyeliner, so I'm not going to go as far as to not use as much eyeliner. And you know, belly dance makeup and eyeliner kind of go hand in hand. So then we're going to go into my Metal Matte palette again. It's one of my favorites, I'm telling you. And I'm going to use slate gray and this velvet color that's kind of almost like a crimson maroon shade. I'm going to blend the two of them together, and I will put that onto the outer corner of my eye. And I realize you can't see it super well on this side, but I have two eyes for a reason, guys. So this color is really going to be the base for the whole thing. And this will be how I get it to really look very belly dancey, because there's something about having like that really dark, kind of mysterious look, which honestly I do a lot anyway. I like to have a dark smoky eye, but we're going to play with the eyeliner this time and do some pretty fun stuff. So I'm going to buff this color out to make it really nice and smoky, because I don't want that line to be too sharp. Like I said, we're going to play with the eyeliner in a minute, so it'll be better if we keep the eyeshadow a little bit more smoky. At this point we look silly because we only have color on one eye, so let's get it on the other one. I tend to call this like the bean stage because I feel like I'm drawing a bean on my eyelid. Just kind of looks a bit bean-ish. So I'll draw that on. I'll add a little bit of just straight velvet onto the lid itself, just to add a little bit more red, because I am going to be doing a red outfit for the choreography that I'm designing this for. And you know, matches my hair. Red's a good color all around. Matches my dragon in the background there. Again, buffing this out, making it as even as I can with the other eye, because at this stage I do want the shades to be even. They won't be even through the whole design, but this part should be even. So next, I will grab this from Concrete Minerals. They are a company I just discovered recently, and this is a super, super pigmented red eyeshadow. It's amazing. It's really the only red eyeshadow I could find. You have to apply it with a sponge or with your finger. It will not work with a brush. It just doesn't. If you get anything from this brand, trust me, use a sponge or your finger, or even a beauty blender would work. But I mean, you can see, look how pigmented this color is. It almost exactly matches my hair. And that's really what I was going for here. I wanted a really nice, vibrant red that I could blend into that velvet color to make a little bit of a gradient, which will make it a little bit smoother in a minute. But for right now, that red is just so pigmented and so pretty. I kind of can't get enough of this color. I feel like I've been going through it faster than I meant to, just because I'll wear it just for fun. I'll wear it to work anymore. It's just such a pretty shade, and it matches so nicely with my hair. And who doesn't want their colors to match when they dye their hair? I mean, it's great. So I'm going to use this to fill most of the rest of my lid. I want to leave a little bit of space because I do have a shimmer shade I want to add in a minute. That'll be next. But I really want this red to be the wow factor on my eyes in terms of color, because of course the eyeliner is going to be the big thing. But the eyeshadow needs to stand up to the eyeliner, in my opinion. Alright, so back to the Tutti Frutti palette. I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to apply this shimmery peach. Just going to take a little bit of that and dab it into the inner corner. I have tried this with a brush and a sponge and a beauty blender, and it just is so much easier to just use my middle finger. Plus, that fingernail is always broken. I don't know what it is. So, that nail's always short, so I'm not going to stab myself in the eye. I just want to get that little bit of light into the inner corner of my eye so that it looks a bit more normal. And it looks a bit more punchy. Because again, I want that red to be my main shade, but as you can see, that peach really makes it pop. Now I'm going to take a little tiny bit of this Urban Decay eyeshadow, which it's the shade Mushroom, right? And take a little bit of that. I'll just use my finger again. And I'll just put a touch of that right along that seam between the vivid red and the velvet red, just because I find that it looks a little bit better in the blend to have this kind of grayish shade in there. I don't know why, I like it, so that's what I'm gonna do. And this is my Buxom black eyeshadow that I don't know what it's called, but it's the black eyeshadow from Buxom. And this is the part where I'm going to look really silly. But I use a little insert from an eyeshadow palette as a guide for drawing a cat eye with eyeshadow. And I always draw it with eyeshadow because I find that it just tends to stay on better and stay on longer. So I'll put it on with eyeshadow, and then sometimes I'll go over it with eyeliner and it always stays better, or sometimes I'll just leave it as straight eyeshadow, and again, because it's just eyeshadow, it's not going to come off like when you cry. And this is where we're going to see that I'm going to make some choices that will make my eyes look just a little different from each other. So on this one I'm going to do a really thick cat eye, and on the other one I will do a slightly thinner version of the same thing. I personally really like using a guide like this. I find that I get the little wings more even doing it this way. It's not necessary. You can really do whatever you want. You can do all sorts of stuff to get that. You don't have to use an eyeshadow. You can use an eyeliner and get a really good result with it. And I'm going to use some fun eyeliners in a minute here, but I just really like the way it looks when I use the little guide. So that's what I do. I do recommend it, but it does take some getting used to. Alright, so eyeshadow is done. I'm gonna roll up my eyeshadow, my brush case here, and then we'll get into some liners. This one is from Styla. It's a shade called Stingray. It's just black. You gotta have a black eyeliner, am I right? So I'm gonna do my waterline on both sides, get some fallout off my face. I actually didn't do too bad. So I'm going to do my waterline just on the bottom with black. I have a hard time doing my upper waterline, so I only do the lower one. My upper eyelid is a little bit too sensitive, but I like how it looks just on the lower anyway. And then I will straight up line my lower lashes as well with just a touch of this. And I will use it to connect the cat eye, that little wing that we just put on, with this. So it'll just kind of unify everything and make that line really perfectly seamless. And I find that this one does stick pretty well. It's not great with precision, but it does stick really nicely on the skin, and it doesn't generally come off if you have watery eyes or anything. I know I have super watery eyes a lot of the time. Alright, so this one's from KVD Vegan Beauty, back when it was called Kat Von D, and this is Dagger Tattoo Liner. It's got a chisel tip, which is really, really, really nice for doing that cat eye. It's also really nice for getting a super thin line in the inner corner. And I realize that you can't see what I'm doing, but I had to have a mirror, and I couldn't figure out how to do this to where you could actually watch while I do the very Egyptian styled lines. So you'll be able to see it afterward in the finished product, but for right now, I apologize, and sometime I'll come up with a better way of doing this so you can really see what I'm doing. But I'm gonna add some liquid liner to my lower lash line so that I can bring that black down and do like a very Egyptian style cat eye in the inner corner, which you really see a lot in belly dance. You see where they take that liner in on the inner corner and really far out on the outer corner. On the other side, I don't want to be as dramatic, so I'm mainly going to connect the line that I drew with the eyeshadow all the way into my inner corner, because I didn't go that far in with the eyeshadow. I always go about halfway across the lid with eyeshadow, and then I am going to fill in that cat eye with this color, and I'll take it out just a little bit farther so it goes to a really nice sharp point. Because again, we want to be pretty dramatic with this look. I am playing the part of a huntress who is hunting a phoenix for this role. So this guy is just this is a sample of tattoo liner, also from KVD. But I'm gonna use this to add an extra little flare to my cat eye. So it's almost like adding an extra cat eye above the first one. And again, that one will go beyond my inner corner and a little bit beyond my outer corner. You can almost think of it as like a second lower eyebrow, a little bit. But it's going to add kind of a tiger stripe cat eye look across that lid. So it gets a really, really dramatic look that will add a little bit more from Dagger to make that extra dramatic. And when I actually perform this, I might take that out just a little farther. So I think that might be quite fun. And then I decided to bring that cat eye in the inner corner on the other eye as well, just to kind of match it just a little bit more. And I'm going to make that lower eyeliner a little bit bolder as well. But again, I want to do this side a little bit more subtly. So that's how we look so far. We've got some really fun eyeliner on both sides, but they are fairly different from each other. Not different enough that it's insanely obvious, but different enough for me. And we'll go into eyelash curling. Eyelash curlers are so weird, aren't they? And then I completely forgot to show you what mascara I'm using, but I'm using Monsieur Big from Lancome. I use the waterproof one because, again, I have watery eyes. So we're going to use this to make, and I do wear false eyelashes, but I find that if I don't put mascara on first, the eyelashes won't stick. I use magnetic ones, which you'll see in a minute, and if you want to use magnetic ones like I do, definitely have to put mascara on first, and I find that a waterproof just works so much better for this, so that's what I'm going to do. I will also put mascara on my lower lashes because I don't put falsies on the lower ones, I just do it on the upper. Ordinarily, at this point, I would blink a few times and then do a setting spray, but because I'm just doing this for fun, let's add some highlighter. This is what it'll look like when I actually perform it. It's not something I normally do in a tester, but I thought this would be fun. This is from Styla. I think it's part of their Glitter and Glow line. So it's a liquid highlighter, very, very shimmery, glittery. And I like to do it down my nose just a bit and then across, right under my eyes. Right up against that cat eye almost, just to give it some shine that you can see in the fun lights during the performance. So there you can see just a little bit of shimmer, just enough to give it some like belly dance flair. Now, about those eyelashes. I keep them in a contact case because I only use a half lash. And they're magnetics, so they're fine to keep in a contact case like that. These are the old style magnetics, so it's two pieces, one goes on the top, one goes on the bottom, and they pinch your lashes underneath. I find them super easy to apply. I like that I don't have to use a different eyeliner. I can still use my Kat Von D. And because I do tend to wear so much eye makeup, it really works for me to have a nice bold eyelash like this and to only do it as a half instead of having to do a full. And then my camera died. And now I have black lip liner on. And this is my lipstick. This is also from KVD. I do not remember what the color is called, but it's black and it finally focused. So I've put on black eyeliner that's also from KVD. And this I feel like is just the finishing touch for any belly dance look, is you gotta do a good lip color. And for a lot of dancers that means red. Because that's, I mean, it's a traditional color, it's a really pretty color, and it just kind of goes with everything. A red lip, really, it does go with everything. So, after I add this black, I am going to add another color. Because I find that black by itself can be a little too intense. So I'm going to use a red from Smashbox, and this is a sample color that I got. I don't remember how I got it, but I got it for free, and I really like it. It's a gloss and it applies really brightly over that black, so I get this really fun shade that matches the eyeshadow look almost perfectly, which is exactly what I was going for. I just really wanted something bold, something classy but not too classy, something very Huntress, very a little bit dark, a little bit mysterious, maybe a little bit dangerous. So now let's see, I'll comb my hair down. I forgot my hairbrush, so I'll just do it with my fingers. I have short hair, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I am loving how this turned out, and I will definitely do something at least very similar when I do the performance. So now you can see the fun eyeliner with the nice eyelashes, and we'll do a little belly dance head slide. Very pretty. And some little hand waves. And we'll come a little closer to the camera so you can see exactly what I did. Get kind of a better look at that eyeliner that I had so much fun with. I love this look. I hope you guys did too. If this is something you want to see more of, let me know. Have a good one.